Hey everyone, I don't really like romance here, but today I want to talk about The Paradise by Helen Hong. The reason why I don't really like romance is because it is one of the most overused genre ever. It's everywhere, even in subplots, and they're always really predictable, or either that or it's just something that is unresolved in the story. It doesn't help that most of the time they're so badly written that our preconception of how romance works itself is so out of whack, out of the norm. The characters don't act or react in ways that human beings on planet Earth do. They feel so out of place and thus they're not that believable, most of the time at least. But from what I've read of Helen Hong characters and stories so far, they at least react in a believable manner. It's still melodramatic since it's a romance genre, but the drama is at least, most of the time, at least true to life. Taking from her experience as a second generation Vietnam immigrant and also taking from her and her daughter experience as people on the autistic spectrum, one who was diagnosed early in her life and one who was diagnosed late in her life. She crafted this experience into some of her characters. Kai Diep, the main male from this book, is someone to his autism have a hard time connecting with his emotion because people with autism doesn't process emotion the same way as us. And he realized this since early in his childhood, but he refused to admit that the cause is autism. Meanwhile, Esme Tran is a mixed girl raised in Vietnam who is just the kind of person who, when she wishes harm to others, at most is praying they got mild poisoning, so basically mild diarrhea. And she had to deal with being a different looking kid because she's biracial compared to the other kids. She looks a little bit different in Vietnam. And in her youth, she's made a couple of questionable choices in her life that resulted in where she ends up being. Then, of course, as all romance do, of course we read until they got together since that's what the genre do. I think it still glorified most of the romance aspect, which I really wish romance genre would stop doing. And there are a few topics that I don't think the book handles with enough class or taste. But you want to read a book without any stake, where you know exactly what you're reading and you don't need to be in a certain mood to go read it. Romance, I think, is a good enough choice, and this book, I think, is a good enough choice. That's about it.